What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be continuing the build on my 2003 Ford Mustang. But before we get to any of the new parts, I'm going to show you what we did in the previous video, which starts up front here. We removed the hood, we removed the bumper, we removed all the headlights, we removed all of the suspension underneath. Let's see if we can get some better lighting here. As you can see, the A-arms are gone, the springs are gone, the shocks are gone, everything's basically gone. The calipers are hanging, which those will be coming off shortly too. Moving on to the back, we did pretty much the same thing. The coils are gone, the shocks are gone, pretty much everything's gone. Now let me show you what we have for the new parts that are going to be going on the car today. This is going to be pretty much the first step to all of the new suspension work. What we have here is the UPR front K-member along with their A-arms. So this is going to be what goes on the car first, because everything I do is going to be built off of this K-member here. And this K-member gives me the flexibility to, if I decide to go with a different motor in the future for more power, this is already set up for the Coyote. So what we are going to be doing first is actually removing the rest of the factory K-member. I already started pulling the steering away. It's a little dark under here, so it's harder to see, but as you can see right there, we already started to pull it away from the K-member, so this is pretty much just sitting here. It's very easy to remove at this point. We do have to remove the motor mounts from the K-member, so that can all drop. But before we do that, we need to come up here. I picked up this engine support bar from Harbor Freight. It was like $100. All it is you can hook these chains to these bars here and then bolt it onto the motor somewhere to help support that. So that'll support it from the front, and then going underneath here, as you can see, I also bought a low profile transmission jack, so that will support the transmission from the bottom. So now that we went over that, all we have left to do is to get started. Alright guys, so as you can see, the K-member is removed. Size comparison between the two is night and day. As you can see, this is going to be so much lighter and better than the factory one. Plus we no longer need the spring purchase, since we are going to all coil over suspension. Right now, as you can see, the engine is literally just hanging there. It's, sorry for the glare, it's so dark, but as you can see, the transmission jack's doing its job. I did put a secondary jack up front just to help hold the front part of the motor, because the chains are not in the most ideal position. I had to use one of the supercharger mounting brackets, so there's a little bit more leverage on this bolt than I would like, or this stud. I couldn't get another bolt like on the right side there, so it's doing the job. Everything's tight, everything's holding. Like I said, this jack is really just helping that one side of the chain where there's a little bit more leverage than I'd like on that, but it's all working. Everything's doing fine. Next thing we're going to do is prep the new K-member with the new A-arms. These do have to be installed prior to the K-member going in, I guess, just according to the instructions. So we're going to get all these greased up, installed, and then put it on the car. Alright guys, so it has been a few days since that last clip, but as you can see here, the K-member is completely bolted up to the car again, and the engine is 100% sitting on the weight of the K-member. It's all bolted back up. Everything is good. Just have to get this steering assembly linkage back onto the K-member, and that'll pretty much do it for that section of the car. I am going to actually swap out these bushings. In a couple clips before this, I did mention that the black was for track and drag and all that stuff, but it's actually the red. So the black are going to be coming off. I am going to be putting the red in, so have to swap that out, but that's no big deal. It's just 2 bolts on each side. But it has been a few days since I actually worked on the car. It's like 110 degrees here, and it's just awful, but I did utilize that time to actually get a couple new tools for the shop that's going to help us in the next phase of this build. So I'll show you what they are. Here's a little sneak peek at the brakes that are going to be going on the car. But I did pick up the Harbor Freight parts washer and the Harbor Freight like blast cabinet for sandblasting stuff. And what these are going to be used for are the steering knuckles. So the actual reason I purchased these 2 tools here is because for some reason I cannot find these parts. I don't know if they just don't exist, or they're just not making them right now, or what the deal is, but I just cannot find these. So it's no big deal. All we're gonna do is use it as an excuse to add tools to the shop, which is pretty much what you do when you run into situations like this anyways. So these are gonna be going inside the parts washer. We're gonna get as much grease and grime off these as possible, and then they're gonna go inside these. We're gonna sandblast them and then paint them. We're gonna get a fresh coat of like enamel paint or something on those so that when they go in the car they look brand new, along with the rest of the suspension that's going on this car. So we're gonna get the degreaser inside the parts washer and then start scrubbing on these parts. Alright guys, so we just got these out of the parts cleaner, and as you can see, all of the grease is gone. The only thing left is just like the factory finish that was on these before. This is the rag I used to dry them off, and as you can see, there's like barely any dirt. So that definitely worked really well. These are, I can actually touch them and not get anything on my hand, so I'm very happy with how that turned out. So what we're going to do next is just mask off some of these areas, like the spindle on both pieces here, and maybe a couple other of these machined surfaces, like back here. Maybe we'll tape that off. I don't know if that's gonna be a huge deal, but we'll get these masked off, and we'll get these inside the blast cabinet and sandblast these things so that we can get a new fresh coat of paint on them. Okay, so we just got everything masked up. As you can see, I masked off all the surfaces I thought would need it, that looked like they were machined from the factory, but everything else should be fine to just get sanded. Shouldn't be a problem. You can see we got the original factory Ford logo back there, so that'll be pretty cool to see again after it's not buried under layers and years of grease. So we're gonna get these things thrown in here, loaded up with some sand, and start blasting. Alright guys, just to give you a little before and after here, as you can see, the blast cabinet worked very well. This is completely stripped down, no more old factory finish, whatever it was, but these things are just down to bare metal. So what we're going to do now is paint these things. So tonight when I head home, I'm going to pick up some like enamel paint or something, maybe some like engine enamel stuff. That seems to be pretty strong. I've used that on a lot of stuff. So we'll pick that up, get these things painted, and get them back in the car. Alright guys, and there it is. We got the finished part back on the car. It's just sitting on the A-arm for now. It just loosely fit there just to make sure everything looks good. The only thing left to do really is put this new hub on. I picked these up. Just gonna upgrade it or replace everything while we're doing all this, so everything's gonna be new. So that's gonna slide on right there. I'm gonna get that in place and then I'll be right back. So the hub's mounted. That's pretty much gonna wrap up what we have to do for the suspension prep work. So now that this is all done, we can finally tackle those coilovers. Well, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Just to recap what we did, we removed the K-member, we installed the new K-member, we installed the new A-arms, we had the steering knuckles completely stripped, refinished, painted back on the car, and we installed those new hubs. So we got a lot of work done. But stay tuned, in the next video we're going to be jumping onto the suspension. And just to give you a little sneak peek at what just showed up, it's sitting on the top of the Mustang there. I'll show you that in a future video. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you around.